Hello everyone, my name is Ian Lamont. I'm the author of Lean Media, and today I'm going to be talking about how to optimize your Amazon Marketing Services campaign. And this is something that everybody should do if they have Amazon marketing campaigns and the performance is not quite where they want it to be. And this is how you do it. So here we have a product. This is an advertisement I created some time ago for a book that my publishing company sells. It's called LinkedIn in 30 Minutes. You can see a preview of the ad there. And oftentimes you'll get an idea that there might be something wrong with your campaign when Amazon contacts you and says your daily budget is running out of money and you should add more. This message will send you to this particular page, and this is where you can adjust the daily budget. So you can see that I have it set at $5, but actually, when they prompt me to do this, usually I do not change this figure. $5 is actually a good rate for me, and considering that there's no end date for this particular campaign, that means I'm spending. Let's see here, spending like well over $1,500 a year on this particular advertisement. Let's assume that that's what I'm spending. I don't want to spend more than that. Actually, what I'd like to do is identify the areas of spending where maybe I'm spending too much on a certain keyword or not enough on another keyword, and optimize that process. And you can see, by the way, up here, I've spent so far $146 on this campaign. I've gotten nearly $600. And ACOS, the average cost of sales, is 25%. I've explained in another video why this is a terrible metric to use to evaluate your campaign. But in the meantime, let's go over to the optimization process. So here's what you should do. Go to the keywords area of your campaign. And this is a sponsored product, but other types of AMS campaigns have a similar dashboard where you can adjust the keywords. So when you see your dashboard, it will look something like this. The list of keywords, which ones are enabled and paused, how much money you're bidding on them. CPC stands for cost per click. Average cost per click, how many impressions, how many clicks, and the sales, and the ACOS too. So one thing that I like to do first when I come to this page is to sort this column, the ACOS, so the highest ACOS levels, which are bad, are at the top. So let's do that right now. So sometimes you have to click it twice to get it. Okay. Here are the average cost of sales for specific keywords. And as you can see on one of them, what color is your parachute? That's the title of another book. You're allowed to use keywords of other product names in your AMS campaigns. It said that my sales are $8, but I spent more than that, just over $8. So my ACOS is 103%. So what I did is I paused that one. But actually looking down this list, I can see that there's still some kind of questionable ACOS levels here, especially this one, 40.74%. Now, the metric I like to use to actually evaluate whether or not a keyword is profitable is something called average cost of profit. That means how much money you're actually making from the campaign. And if it's over 100%, you're losing money on the campaign. I don't have that particular metric handy. I use a special spreadsheet to create that. But in the meantime, this is looking high to me. So I basically have two options. I can either pause it by selecting this drop down and selecting pause, or I can lower this figure. And the idea is if people are paying less if I'm paying less for the clicks, maybe the average cost of sales will go down, assuming that sales still continue to happen. And what happens when you adjust this downwards, like let's put this on 11 cents. That's not a big difference, but I can't go much further down than that. But what happens when you down adjust a keyword is fewer people will see it, and maybe the quality of the placements won't be as good. So I'm taking a little bit of a risk there, but resume writing, this is very relevant for a book about LinkedIn, so I want to keep that there. So that's one way to evaluate and optimize your campaign. You can go through and pause or adjust the bids as necessary. Now another thing you can do is you can flip the ACOS the other way and basically see which keywords are actually performing pretty well. I might have to click through quite a bit here because a lot of these keywords are just empty. Okay, this is an interesting page. So this shows me that this keyword here, LinkedIn optimization, I'm bidding 54 cents for it. But I'm having a fantastic sales rate. I'm only spending 71 cents, but I'm getting nearly $18 in sales, and the ACOS is quite good. However, there's only 4 clicks there. So what I might do in this case is actually bump this one up. So let's just bump that up to 0.59, 59 cents. And the idea is maybe that will give some more impressions and some more clicks and some more sales. And if the ACOS, even if it goes up to 10%, that's not a huge deal for me because I'll be getting more sales on that. So that's how you can use ACOS to optimize. There's a couple other things you can do too. And one thing I like to look at is the total spend and the total sales. So actually, let's look at total sales first. I always sort by the biggest selling keywords of all. So not surprisingly, for a book about LinkedIn, LinkedIn is the #1 keyword for sales. And ACOS of 20%, I've spent $65. I'm actually okay with that. I think that's a pretty good level. Again, this resume writing one, that's a little bit suspicious, but this lets me see kind of where the performance is taking place. If you sort by spend, this sometimes reveals a really interesting fact, and you can see it down here. So look at this. I've spent some money on a lot of impressions for the career counseling keyword, but it doesn't show up as any sales. So I've spent this money. Let's assume that this could be higher. This could be a lot higher actually. Sometimes I've had campaigns where I've spent $20 or $30 on some keyword or some campaign that's not generating any sales at all. So in this case, if they've already if AMS has delivered 11,000 impressions, I've only gotten 7 clicks and no sales, and I'm paying for those clicks, it might be time to turn it off. So one thing I could do is, if I think it's a really promising keyword, I could just lower this amount, but I think I'm just going to pause that one. And actually the same thing well, actually not for this one, LinkedIn book. I want that one. Yeah, so 750 impressions, 9 clicks, $1.36. I can live with that because I think that's a good keyword to be using. And I could go through and do the same thing for the others. And then the other thing to consider is impressions. This shows the biggest impressions. And again, you have to evaluate the amount of impressions and clicks versus what you're actually getting on the return. So for more information on how to get the most out of your media campaigns, I have a bunch of AMS-related videos on my YouTube channel. And also, I talk a lot about the media business in my book, Lean Media, How to Focus Creativity, Streamline Production, and Create Media That Audiences Love. And the idea is you use metrics, both quantitative metrics as well as qualitative feedback, to make better media and to improve the results of whatever media you're making, whether it's a video or a book or an advertising campaign or a video game. For more information, go to leanmedia.org, and I hope to see you soon.